Can you hear us now? Are we good? Peace. Um. Hey everyone. Hey everyone. This is Ultra Head Cheese Z, and this is your host. I'm Leatherface. You know, from the little massacre down in Texas. I got some work done. Okay. This doesn't work the second time around. See, I did this earlier, and it was a bit more funny. It still wasn't funny, but now it's just me doing a really bad bit about head cheese. Yeah, for those that don't know, head cheese is a food that you get when you boil a cow. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. It's actually kind of disgusting. I'm getting disgusted thinking about it. Anyways, guys, Google it yourselves. Um, this is Ultra Podcast Z, episode 162, and I'm Manuel. Nyaru is AWOL. She whenever I make that joke at the end of an episode, when I thank everyone for watching, I thank JD for hosting, and I thank Nyaru for not canceling last minute. This is one of those times where she canceled. Well, it wasn't that last minute. I will give it up to her. She gave us like 2 hours notice. Usually it's like literally last minute. Like we're looking for her, and then she says she's not gonna do it. Apparently she threw her voice out because Valentine's Day stuff. Like, it sounds valid, so I'm not gonna judge. But I'm gonna judge. But yeah, I'm Manuel, always here. Weston's joining in, but he's stepped away, and then JD's there as always. Oh, I'm a little bright. Let me turn myself down a little.
Sorry about that.
There it goes.
You guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to do something really, really fast.
What's the best spell in D&D? It's funny because I assume that's from the Shock Roll stream. It's Fireball. It's always Fireball. Just like the best drink. I'm just kidding. I actually hate Fireball to drink.
Why are you hating Fireball? You know I'm a Fireball lover. I spit out Fireballs. I drink Fireballs. Hey everyone, this is your favorite Wesley Satson. Let me introduce myself. I drink Fireballs, and I spit Fireballs. Hit me up if you want a Fireball.
Oh, he's talking about like a bit of a Mario reference there, guys. He does a lot of cool Mario cosplays at conventions.
No, I
He
don't. I'm
doesn't
an
really.
Italian plumber. I don't know why everyone gets
You
that
are.
shit mixed up.
You're not Mario. I'm Italian. Like you're one of those costumes that Party City sells, but they can't afford the license to. It's like I'm not Mario. I'm Italian plumber, and I'm not Luigi. I'm Italian plumber's green brother, and so on.
Twin
No
brother.
joke. He actually sold a Princess Peach costume. That was it was like sexy Princess Peach. I used to work at Party City, by the way, for those who haven't heard me mention it a million times. But we sold a sexy Princess Peach costume. I think it was called Peach Princess. I don't know. I guess that's legally distinct enough. And
Yeah.
it was just like a very obviously peach-esque outfit. But it was like a short skirt. And I remember my then girlfriend actually preferred that over the peach outfit, which we did sell, which was like basically this giant, very ugly pink. Well, you know, it's like her real pink, but that's a weird pink to wear in real life, I think.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what are we doing? Let's start with the what are we doing? So, oh, wait, control water. I wow, everyone's getting. Thank you, evil Asian. Yes, I've had more than one girlfriend actually, believe it or not. I should have said my. I think I did say my then girlfriend, but yeah.
You got a number, man.
Fun fact: we actually even though I no, it's actually semi-related. Actually, no, it's not. It's not Halloween. But I'll say last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on. That particular day, that particular Halloween when she bought that costume, I was Toad, and that was the only time. And I only was Toad because we had a Toad costume. We didn't sell Toad in the store, but somebody had returned it, and the costume was like it becomes clear when they return it to the store. It's the online only thing. So I took the Toad costume, and that was the first and only time in my entire life, I think, that we've ever done couples costumes, like with anyone. But yeah,
Oh, how
yeah.
cute!
Technically, it wasn't. I should have been Mario, but whatever. Anyways,
You can't be Mario.
so you're the reason me and my girlfriend broke up. Anyways, no, just kidding.
Damn, Skippy.
Anyways, yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? That's actually a funny thing. Before we jump into the big topics, we actually have a couple. What have you been watching, reading, or playing lately, Weston?
What game am I playing?
Yeah, what's a game you've been
I'm
doing?
more of an indie type of gamer. I never go for the current events because I'm not like everyone else. I be my own thing. I'm playing a game called Guns of Mercy. Think of it as Centipede and an 8-bit shoot 'em up. You just shoot a
No.
bunch of buds for like endless levels, and your little funny little characters that look like modern day shooting characters, like the Doom character or the Ghost Girl from what's the Ghost Girl name that comes out of television?
Oh, Sonico.
Yeah, you could be a mini Sonical, you could be a cat, you could be a knockoff on Neil. So it's like sweet.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the game right now. It's funny because the main character kind of looks like an all yellow version of like Blaster Master.
Yeah,
But yeah,
love that game.
cool like game. What have I been doing? I've been playing more Pokemon.
Good
I
Pokemon.
watched, yeah, but beyond that, 'cause I already talked about Pokemon last week. I actually watched the Descendants movie over the past week, and Disney's Descendants, I should say. And I mentioned it because last week I went to go see the musical.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, the musical was actually a lot of fun. It was a little wonky for some weird reasons, but it was fun. And I was curious about the movie. Now, I'll reiterate that the movie is not for me, but it felt like a good movie. Like, how do I say this? It felt like a very, and I feel like a boomer saying it like this, but this is my
You are,
legit
bro.
reaction, and it's one of the many times when I realized recently, God, I'm old. I have no kids. I have no intention of wanting kids. But this is the kind of movie that I feel like if I had a kid who was my age when I saw like She's All That or something like that, which wasn't exactly a good movie, but like it wasn't trash. Like for example, He's All That. They actually remade She's All That recently, or like one of the streaming services, I think Hulu and Netflix. It's
Oh, it was
trash.
Netflix.
I'd be so upset if my child wanted to watch that. But if my child watched Disney's Descendants, I'm like, oh, this is fine. And it's not because it's Disney. It's just that like I actually kept forgetting that it was supposed to be Disney as I was watching it because there's not a lot of trappings of it. But yeah, it's pretty good. Everyone should go see the movie and watch the musical. I don't know if you're young, because I still felt like way too old to be watching this. I'm like, I'm on a list now. I bet. But anyways, did you watch the Super Bowl last week, Weston?
No,
Last
the
week,
last
yesterday.
3 or 4 years, I've been falling
2 days.
asleep to it because I care not for the Super Bowl. Not that I'm anti-sports about it, but it's like I don't care about sports. I'd rather play it than watch it, or I play the video games of it. Like if
It's
it
funny.
was
Go ahead.
good,
Oh no, I was gonna say it's funny because like I'm very similar, but I'm also not one of those people who likes to complain about it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
same, yeah, yeah. If you love it, it's all for you.
I know. Well, it's funny because I will admit I do this sometimes for other things. So I'm not gonna say that I don't ever do this, but I don't like to like talk shit about people that people like. Wait, I don't like to talk shit about things that people really like. Don't get me wrong. I but like, okay, let me rephrase this. I don't mind ranting about them. Like, I'll tell you, football's boring to me. But if you had a great time with it, that's you. I'm not really gonna try to like talk
Yeah,
shit. It's
good
like
for you.
some
If you had a good time, it brought the
yeah.
family. You're like, oh, this is tradition and all that stuff. Good for you. But for others, it's like, not my cup of
All,
tea, as I say.
and it's funny because it happened right before because it was Sunday, then it was Valentine's Day the next day, which is yesterday. And I'm also like, how do I say this? I'm not one of those people, and it really kind of almost annoys me. By the way, I'm like single this time around, but like, so I'm not even saying this with somebody from like a couple's perspective, but it kind of annoys me. People are like, "Oh, help! Happy Single Awareness Day! Oh, I hate Valentine's Day! Oh,
Why are
my
you hating
books,
on
my
me?
Valentine." Are you one of
I
those
hate
people?
Valentine's Day. Why are you hating on me hating on Valentine's Day? The fuck?
It's like don't hate, like yeah, you don't have to celebrate it, or just have fun on your own, but don't ruin it for other people. Don't like,
I'm not
don't
ruining it. I
make
just
it.
fucking hate it.
Well, don't make it a point to tell everyone you hate it. Like, well, actually, mind you, this is coming from Manuel, who when I hate something, the world has to know. But I don't know. That just might be one that I hate it. Which do you hate? You hate Valentine's Day?
I just I just hate it because it's supposed to be a pagan holiday, not a fucking marketing holiday. Nobody knows a true holiday nowadays.
Well, to be fair, that's a lot of holidays. One of the details I'll never do, and this is this. Don't worry, JD. This is not going to a long story. This is really like I'll do the 2 sentence version of this. There's been a lot of argument. Uh, like it's one of those things where like, oh, the first president is actually not George Washington, but it is. This is a whole other thing. But like, a lot of people like to say, oh, Christmas was actually put on that date because of the pagan holiday, and there's actually a more complicated story to that. But yeah, a lot of holidays do coincide with original pagan or like other. Well, not that Valentine's Day is like a religious holiday, but yeah. Anyways, when is Easter? That's another holiday we could talk crap about when it
I
comes
think
up.
Easter's in April, the beginning of April. No, it's the beginning.
Um,
No, wait, no, wait. I'm thinking of last year. Never mind.
Easter
Yeah,
doesn't it
depending on the
have? It
calendar.
is it is a 17th. Doesn't it?
Oh
It's
yeah,
kind of stretching to May sometimes, or am I making that up? But anyway,
Star Wars.
there's there, there was a meme I saw today. There was a
Yeah.
meme I saw today where like it's an old timey doctor and it's all like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're gonna die. There's Mercury and Uranus," and it's all like, "I don't believe in that astrology thing." It's like, "No, there's Mercury and Uranus. My thermometer broke." But
Dude, that's an old joke.
I've never heard that before. That was
I
today
heard
was
of
the
that
first
before. That's an old joke.
honestly, it doesn't work out loud because, like, out loud, we know these words. Uranus is the funny planet, so or Uranus or what.
I
Anyways,
can't wait till we rename it Eureka.
oh man, don't buy cheap chocolate. Always go all out. What is this? It's the best. Oh no, hold on. Before we go back to Super Bowl, I want to talk about Valentine's Day real fast because Evil Asia brought up a really good point. Cheap chocolate is the worst thing that mankind has ever invented.
What type?
Cheap chocolate, like okay, first of all, I don't think most people notice this, but in order to be legally called chocolate, it has to have a certain amount of cocoa in it, which makes sense. Um, I also should take this moment right now to tell you that apparently Hershey's barely skits that line. They've actually tried to legally change the definition of chocolate to add more oil instead of cocoa powder or cocoa
Natural
whatever.
oil or
It doesn't matter what kind of oil; it's just not chocolate legally. So
yeah.
if you buy a lot of cheap chocolate, like there's like brands like Palmer. Palmer's a really famous one. I don't know if you ever even noticed what brand you're buying, but a lot of times if you buy a cheap chocolate, it'll be by Palmer. Um,
Huh.
if you look closely, the package doesn't say it's chocolate. It says chocolate flavored candies because they can't call it chocolate.
Oh, you're
And
right.
it's pretty much all like fucking vegetable oil and like cornstarch and like other fillers and then like a sprinkling of cocoa powders for the flavor. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Don't ever. Oh, I think for the same reason. Fun fact. Um, yeah, yeah. It's a I think actually the Goodies episode might be on YouTube for free, like legally. I mean, by the way. Um, there's a lot of that's Food Network show, right? There's a lot of Food Network shows legally for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, Yes, I actually wouldn't mind that. I think a long time ago we got a sponsorship. I don't know if I should say it. Actually, I'll say it anyway because it, we didn't follow through in time, and we didn't meet some of the weird requirements like we had to do on our end, but just things we had to fill out in time. We almost one of the million people sponsored by what's that one called? The one that everyone's sponsored by? The one that's the documentary streaming service. The one that
Crap.
everyone's
I'm
oh,
drawing a blank too. I can't think
I
of it
know.
right now.
And anyways, be you know the one because every YouTuber shills it, and we were almost one of them too. But anyways, uh, to be
Chop.
fair, they weren't. Huh?
No, I
To
guess
be
like,
fair,
keep going.
oh, to be fair, they weren't just gonna like sponsor us. We're gonna have ads on the site and bullshit. Anyways, um, so we chocolate. Be careful. Buy good chocolate. That's the end of that. I
Is
went to go.
Dove
I was telling
chocolate good?
Dove chocolate is good. My favorite
Okay, good.
chocolate.
'Cause I always buy
My
that
favorite.
one.
I love Dove. Dove's actually probably my favorite. Dove's very milky. It's funny because like everyone, there's always the joke, especially if you go on TikTok. It's huge a couple years ago where people were like, "Oh, everyone who's not from the US says that Hershey's tastes like vomit." And fun fact, by the way, in one of the comment sections, there's a lot of people like, "How do you know what vomit tastes like?" And I'm like, everyone knows what vomit tastes like. Don't you understand the process of vomit? Anyway, I mean, sure, it's not going the other way, but everyone knows what it tastes like anyway. But yeah, everyone says Hershey's tastes like vomit because it's like more bitter, and I'm like, it doesn't. I know what vomit tastes like. It doesn't taste like Hershey's. Maybe if you
It
like.
tastes like alcohol for you, doesn't it?
Anyways, so yeah, Valentine's Day happened. That's it. Did you do Valentine's Day, Weston, or are you just hating on everyone celebrating?
I haven't had a Valentine since I was a fucking kid, and I'm older
Oh,
than you.
now I feel bad for bringing it up. When I
I
was a
don't care if everyone had a good time. Good for them. For me, it's a fucking nightmare.
when I was a kid, when I was a kid, I wasn't that young. When I was like 16, I was like a sophomore or whatever in high school. Um, I had went to like my local dollar store, and they had some Universal Monsters Valentine's
No.
cards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And back then they came in envelopes. Nowadays, I remember like because we used to sell them at Party City, you just fold them and put a sticker. But no, back in the day we had envelopes. Anyways, uh,
Ooh, fancy.
like I bought those, and believe it or not, I actually had a girlfriend. My then girlfriend, this is important to the story. My then girlfriend was all like, "What do you like? You're such a like." She's basically calling me a hoarder before that was really a popular term. She's
You're
like, "You're
still
such
a
a hoarder.
hoarder.
Why'd you buy those? Like, you're not gonna do anything with them." Like, yeah, I am. I'm gonna give them out to people. It's like, no, you're not. You're not a kid. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it. So TLDR, I gave them out to people, and just to not get into the weeds about this whole story, one of the girls I gave it to, I ended up breaking up with my then girlfriend over. That's the end of that story.
You're a fucking monster. But
Anyway,
you did show her though.
yeah, I did, and that's point to that. uh, yeah, if I'll have a link. Actually, I don't think the episode exists anymore. I'll look it up if it's still on YouTube because we had to delete some of the earlier episodes. I'll have if it still exists, I'll put a link to the we did a whole Valentine's Day episode with myself, Yaru, and Heidi, and I told that story in the longer version. I'll have a link to it if I'll even timestamp it if that episode's still up.
No, okay.
Anyways, so Super Bowl. Did you? Oh, oh yeah. Apparently, did you know about that? You can't say Super Bowl like online. Oh, I keep saying it. Oh. So the big game. Um,
The sports game,
I actually don't even know who was playing the Rams. I only know the Rams were playing
the
because
Bengals.
oh, so that's where all the cat memes came from. What? That was
Yeah, because the band name
you
is the
said
Bengals.
you said
Makes
my
sense.
jokes were bad. Okay, that was kind of funny though, I'm not gonna lie. That was such a dad joke though. But
It
anyways,
was.
um,
Write
it's
that down,
funny
Manny.
because
Write that down.
I know I'm gonna steal that. Uh, I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I used to try. I wanted to be into sports. Uh, because I grew up in a very like poor ghetto neighborhood, and like there was a lot of like I don't want to say traditional values because that really wasn't it. There was a lot, I guess, toxic masculinity values. So
Still is
I
going on right now.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure some family member or maybe my friends, but definitely some family members were like pretty much like, you don't like sports? You have to like sports. You're a guys, you know. And I'm sure there was probably some other non things I'm not going to repeat thrown in there as well. But you know, you can imagine. So I tried to like sports when I was younger, like, and I did. Playing sports is different. Like everyone plays some, you know. I guess you don't have to, but like I played, but like watching it, I never saw the allure to it. Um, but one thing that really, 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 really confuses me to this day, and I don't mean it in a bad way. If you're like this, that's fine. Maybe just explain it to me. I'll never understand the people who like get behind a team to the point when it becomes a part of them.
It's like a
Like
commit. It's like a commitment. Like you have
it's
to
so
be influenced
wild.
from a young age. I say if you saw it with your uncle or your dad and you have like a bonding, I can see that being like a hardcore thing. Like I said earlier, it's a tradition thing. But then again, there's people who are like, oh yeah, it's something I need to get. It's kind of like anything that's like pop culture. Like I need to get involved with it because everyone's getting involved with it. And sports is like one of the top ones that people gets involved. Yeah,
It's it's
even the
so
community can
wild.
be bad too.
Like there are a lot of people, like for example, when I saw like of course I knew when the game, I actually watched I watched the halftime show and I watched the commercial. We'll get to that later. But I knew when the game was over because like my social media feed was like flooded with like Rams won, Rams won. But amongst the Rams won things, there's people like local people. It's like, yeah, we did it. Like we who's this we? We didn't do shit.
What are you talking
It's
about?
like,
We did it. We're a team. We as a team.
and it's funny because like somebody once did try to explain it to me like, oh, it's because it's our town, it's like it's our city. And I'm like, first of all, I love Los Angeles. I'm not technically in Los Angeles, but I love Los Angeles to a degree, but I would never love it like that. And even if I did, we'll assume I did, do you? And even if you did, the team is probably made up of people who come from all over the country. It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like I just don't understand this concept. And not only that, but the Rams weren't even an LA team until very recently. So it just but they all oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that they were. Oh, see, that's how little I know. But doesn't matter.
No, we
Most of
have
my
like
life.
this is like our third or fourth team that's like left and came back. I want to say because we have the
Oh,
LA
well,
Rams, we have the
the
LA
Raiders.
Raiders, and now we have the LA Chargers since they left San Diego, and then
Oh, we
Rams
have
came back.
two things. I know it's a different we, but I like that I changed to a we when even I started saying we. But so
We
apparently it just works. We the Nintendo we. Anyways, um, it's funny because the game took place at Sophie Stadium, and Sophie Stadium's like it's in like in the ghetto. I don't know if it's still ghetto. I don't know if it's been gentrified because of the stadium. I doubt it,
No,
because
they cleaned it
apparently
up last week, and that was like a bit that was like swept under the rug, and nobody was mentioning that. They were kind of doing what they normally do every time a team comes in or a big game happens. They get rid of the
yeah,
homeless people. They liquidate them. They
that's what I was saying
clean
because
everything
like
up, and it's like everyone's like, "This is BS."
I'd imagine so because like there's a bus I used to take all the time because it used to take me from because I used to live in downtown LA. I used to go from downtown LA to like the South Bay. It's called the
Yeah.
Silver Line and it goes on the freeway. And there's a bus stop that's right in front of Sophie Stadium. I'm pretty sure that bus was probably like full of people. It goes on the
Oh
freeway, so it's
yeah.
like one of those buses.
Yep.
And so the bus stops on a freeway overpass, and as soon as you get off the bus, and like the stadium was like right there. It's like here's the fucking freeway. Well, you know what Sophie Stadium is. That's where the bus goes, and there's like a stop right there. And you go down that thing to the overpass.
Mhm.
The overpass has like homeless encampments on either side of the street, and it's always a little sus walking down there. And then there's like a Popeyes once you come out of there, and like the Popeyes was like in this like area where I always felt a little unsafe, and it's like it is what it is. I'm not saying I don't want to like talk too much. I grew up in places like this, so it's like um so I'm like, oh, it's a little sketch, but it's like it just blows my mind. Like whenever that they built, how long has that stadium been there? Has it always been there? I
It's
feel
better
like
been
it's
there a couple of years. They built
yeah. I
it
feel
like
Oh,
three or
wait,
4 years ago.
stop for a second.
okay, so it is new. So it is new. Okay, I was like, because out of nowhere, I'm like, when is there a stadium there? It's like that's a bad area because I think BTS played there like recently.
Yeah, they
Or
did.
that so yeah, it just blows my mind. I'm like, BTS and the Super Bowl are in this like horrible, horrible area. Anyways, anyways, let's talk a bit about the commercials because all I had to say was that it's a weird area. Team lovers are more power to you if you're that supportive of your team. It just strikes me as a little odd. The yeah, we did it.
Is it safe to say that a lot of sports people are simps for their teams?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that because I don't want like, but it's funny because I know there's already memes for this. I don't want to dwell on it too long, but there's a whole lot of like a lot of, especially a lot of my friends do it. So it's kind of like a beaten to death where it's like, oh, I hear there's like a good episode of football on, like the ending season arc, and they kind of try to tie it to anime and whatever. and like or whatever. And I'm like, I get it. It's like, oh, and there's also the memes where it's all like, why is this acceptable? It's like somebody decked out in like football gear, but this isn't. It's like a weeb. And first of all, the answer to that's simple because society says this one's better, and society's always by the majority, whether that's right or wrong. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it it's funny because there is no difference. It's like it's the same thing. You're just simping and you're going crazy over one thing versus the other. Everyone has their hobbies. I don't know. I don't know. It's wild. It's the approved hobby that guys can have, and I guess girls too. I guess, but mainly guys. Let's be real. Boomers. Did you watch the halftime show at all, Weston?
I was asleep. I missed it. I like I said,
it,
this is like my third or fourth year that I literally slept through it because I don't care about it. I watch
it,
it after, and I watch the commercial stuff after when it comes out on YouTube.
oh, so you should have watched though, because this new one, well, this recent one had Snoop, it had Dr. Dre, it had them
Yeah,
doing
I
like
heard. I just haven't watched it yet.
it's pretty good. Yeah, I won't spoil it too much because there was some surprises in there, but it was really good. It was really random. It reminded me a lot because like it's the kind of rap I do play a lot of times, and I was playing a lot of the songs that they did there, like not even just the obvious like nothing but a G thing and whatever at
Yeah,
ALA, and I was like, oh shit, it's the it's like they're playing my jams, and huh?
yeah.
You have to celebrate what?
No, give me a second. They can't hear me. Okay, now they can hear me.
Oh,
Oh yeah, they had to celebrate California. I was waiting for that a song to come on. Was it California Love? Tupac,
yeah.
Dre, and I can't remember the third artist.
Yeah, it's funny because they did that song, and I was like, "Hey, they're covering that Tupac song." I'm like, "Wait, Dre was on the original."
He
But yeah,
was.
um, I love that song though. To be funny, my one controversial hot take of early '90s like rap in general is that I think that's the only Tupac song I like. If you want my hot take, that would get everyone to hate me now. I think Tupac. I haven't heard a Tupac song I like except for that one. And it's a song that I always associated more with Dr. Dre. Hot take.
Well, I think it's
Anyway,
time for Manuel to move over to the East Coast because I don't think he's welcome
oh,
here anymore.
I'm gonna get shot, aren't
Yes.
Yeah, don't you remember the East West Coast wars?
I know
Obviously,
I'm reigniting the feud. Oh shit! I better shut up.
everyone's too old to be doing that shit now.
Yeah, we got time for that. As long as I can get my tofu pudding, I don't care where I live. That's fair. I drank this I wish I had the bottle to show you guys, but I accidentally bought this coconut drink the other day because I thought it was an horchata drink. Because it was stacked, it was like stored next to them in a little cooler at my market, and I bought this coconut drink. I took it home. The coconut drink was fine. It tasted like coconut. I'm not a big fan of coconut, but it was fine. But as I was drinking it towards the bottom, it had like these pieces of jelly in it, like kind of like the jelly you get like in a boba drink. Not boba, but like when you get the jelly cut up or whatever in there as well. And I just
Uh,
like, I was not expecting it. I at first thought the drink had gone
Okay,
bad.
Manuel,
I was
commercials.
like, ah, shit, things is. Things... Anyways, that's my. I don't know why that happened this morning. That's why it's in my head. Anyways, commercials. Did you guys? Are you a fan of Lord of the Rings? What Wings? I'm 5 years old. Are you a fan of Lord of the Rings, Weston?
yeah, I I could say I grew up on it with the animation first, then before the live action.
No one ever met. I haven't thought about like the Hobbit cartoon and the fucking Lord of the Rings cartoon about the Ralph Bakshi one.
Yeah, the Rob
It's
Batchy one. I actually like those.
actually it's funny because I love both of those. Like the Hobbit, I think it's Reagan Bass. The people who I forgot who animated the Hobbit one though. It's a Japanese animation studio. I remember that, but I forgot which one
It's
it was.
very well known.
It is, and I wish I knew who it was. That's what I was about to say. Like, I think it's someone famous who animated the Hobbit. But anyways, The Hobbit's great for its own adaptation. There's Rankin Bass and the people who also do the Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer, all the Christmas shit. And then the movie Lord of the Rings that was theatrical. That was
Manuel, I looked it up. It
fucking
was
yes.
Topcraft, the studio
Oh,
that
I never
had a
heard
lot
of.
of the early Ghibli talent before they
There you
founded
go.
Ghibli.
Yeah, it was pre-Ghibli basically.
Yeah,
It's great animation. Everyone should go watch The Hobbit. They also worked on the Return of the King movie, but that movie's a bad movie, so watch that one at your at your own discretion. But the Lord of the Rings movie, that's Ralph Bakshi. But they're doing a Lord of the Rings TV series on Amazon Prime, and this isn't really exactly new news. Like we got the presser for it because we get Amazon Prime's pressers like ages ago. Fun fact: in the presser, they made it a point to tell us like about 2 years ago that Amazon Prime is not called Amazon Prime like the video. It's called Prime Video. There's no Amazon in that title. They didn't want Amazon associated with it for some reason.
Can
Yeah,
you
they made
blame
it a
them?
huge. Yeah, I was about to say like that. That's pretty funny. That's such a pandemic-y response to it when we first got it. They're like, yeah, don't put Amazon in here. It's like they made notes to press. It's like it's now known as Prime Video, just Prime Video. I don't know if I should have
Okay,
revealed
Manuel,
that, but
on to
anyways,
the show, The Rings of Power. Come on.
raise the power. Did you watch the trailer, Weston?
I did. It was like what, a minute long?
Yeah, it was just a minute. I
I
have
mean,
a
I
lot
see
of things.
screenshots of the characters, which I'm really really like, wow, that's good. They went full out. I can't
It
wait for those.
looks
I literally can't wait for people to dress like them at conventions because when I see it in real life, oh my god, it's gonna be fucking awesome.
it looks fucking amazing. It looks like on par, and I know everyone's throwing this comparison around. It's not really a good comparison, I think, thematically with Tolkien's work, but
Yeah,
it looks very like Game of Thronesy, which is good. Because there's that very brief scene where there's like some king looking guy who's like in an army and they're being like surrounded. I'm like, ah, shit, that battle's probably gonna be great. But have you? Wait, first of all, if I get to some of this stuff, what's your thoughts on it, JD? Because I know you probably have several.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is like my one kind of blind spot. I've seen the movies. I'm not as big on like the backstory. I know the Rings of Power are set in what, the Second Age?
yeah. I was gonna ask. I think it's the Second Age because this is
Yeah,
way before the Lord of the
the
Rings.
rings. Yeah,
Uh,
it's right before the rings are made. There's no Lord of the Rings. It's like,
yeah,
it's just sour. It's not. I don't think it's because I think Second Age was sour and even in power. Oh, well, I don't think it's too nerded out. But anyway, it's Second
Yeah, I
Age.
didn't want to do that too, but yeah, I think it's like the right at the cusp of the first one and beginning of the Second Age of
yeah.
the
I'm
Tolkien
just
Age.
Yeah.
definitely confused. I know they called it Lord of the Rings for like brand naming or like name recognition. I'm just
Yeah,
wondering if they could have just gone with like Middle Earth, the Rings of Power or something.
that
Oh,
would have been a
I
lot
would have.
smarter actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, there have been video games that have done that that haven't put the Lord of the Rings title in the title, and it would have saved. I'm not gonna lie. Now that you pointed it out to me, now it bothers me. It didn't bother me before, but it would have saved nerds like us like getting annoyed by the title.
I mean, it would have been a
Yeah,
good shout out for them because it's like, oh, middle age. Ooh, which middle age
but
is it?
there's even the title of the Zima title. There's even the line. I think it's in the book and the movie. Um, I forgot who says it to who. But I know Gandalf says the reply back is like, "There's only one Lord of the Ring, and he doesn't share power." I think it's Saruman actually. He says it too. But yeah, and I'm like, yeah, the Lord of the. For those who don't know, because I actually remember like when the movies were coming out, there was somebody who was asking about the Lord of the Rings. I'm like, it, that's a reference to Sauron himself. Like he is the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
And I guess if you want to get thematic, oh, maybe it's Frodo because he's carrying it, or maybe it's anyways. But yes,
Yes, it
um,
is to Saruman.
it is to Saruman. He says that too.
Yes.
yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because it's a 1 minute trailer and there's so much to like watch. I actually watched it like no exaggeration. I watched it like 20 times. I mentioned it because they showed it during they premiered it before, but there was adverts of it during the Super Bowl, which is my weak attempt to tie it back into there. And also, I know JD wanted to talk about fantasy stuff a bit. We'll do a whole episode on other things. I want to talk about Wheel of Time also,
Yeah, that's what.
but
How long did I lobby for Fantasy February?
we'll do it next week or the week after. But anyways. Um, I mean, anyways, I've moved away from talking. I just want to go more into it. I will say I'm a little worried because, like, it looks like that one character. It might not be the main character. It might just be someone. I'm like, is this gonna be another story of like a thief? I'm so tired of the thief in fantasy tropes. Being the audience insert. It's funny because that trope started with The Hobbit, but like, not only is that like in a lot of later media, but they always include that in shit. Like when they made the Dungeons and Dragons movie, the one from like 2002, the one nobody likes. Um, they focus on a thief. Whenever they like make any story, they always have to put a thief because I guess that's the very obvious go-to character to go to when you want to like create an audience insert. Which is I don't know. I don't know if that's the main character, so I'm kind of just judging that ahead of time. Also, the other thing I wanted to point out, there's a scene which looks great, by the way, where this one elf character, which I didn't realize was an elf until the part I'm going to tell you next, comes out and shoots an arrow. Now, do you want to know why I realized he was an elf? Besides the
Why?
ears, I had to go back and watch that. Because the internet went crazy about him.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that, JD?
Yes, I knew it was coming.
The internet, and I'm not gonna lie, I'll admit. First of all, I'll just tell you what the thing is. He, the dude was black.
What?
Was a black actor. Yeah, it was a black actor.
What? You
Was a
don't
black
say.
actor playing an elf.
No,
and this apparently upsets people.
I'm upset right now.
Shut up, Wes.
Manuel,
He's
you know they
joking,
don't
by the
exist.
way,
That's
guys.
pretty
They're
much
just a
everyone's
pure
response.
creation of
is
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
I was joking.
Would you?
I was joking, like
It's-
how the people try to act like when they get angered by that, acting like there's never been,
It's so
insane. African people
I couldn't
in
believe.
England, even in the Middle Ages, probably pre-Middle
Yeah,
Ages too.
it just blew my mind that that like, first of all, I watched the trailer. I didn't even. Now, I don't want to be like, oh, I don't see color with those people, but I didn't even realize that was a black. I didn't stand out to be like, oh, that was a cool bit. That was a bit I remembered. It was like it's all slow motion and shit like that. I'm like, oh yeah, he was a black guy. I'm like, wait, he was an elf, and I went back and I watched it because I'm like, oh shit, he is an elf, isn't he?
Nice.
I don't think I caught on that he was an elf. Like not because it's like he doesn't look like an elf, but because elves just look like people until you see their ears. Basically.
Wait, don't elves just shoot arrows? That's all I know.
That's what I was saying. 'Cause I guess the giveaway should have been that he had a bow, but then again,
Obviously.
Pretty sure
I didn't
rangers
re-
have bows too, and they're mostly
exactly.
human.
Yeah, I don't know. This shot looked pretty fancy, like an elf.
But it was just crazy to see people so upset about that. That like I'm like, are you serious? It's like, are we having this conversation? First of all, I
Yeah.
don't think that's a conversation we need at any period in time. But in 2022, we're gonna like, oh, there's a black elf. Like we need a I hope there's more than one. First of
I
all,
hope there's a whole army of them.
Yeah. Second of all, like it's funny because I was talking to another. First of all, like I don't think that you have to like be too intense about like adaptation. Even if like there was no like black character ever mentioned in the books. First of all, they're adapting things that don't have writings. Like Tolkien never
Yeah.
really, besides appendices and like just vague outlines, he never wrote a story about the Second Age, like a full one. I mean, a completed one. So first of all, this is all kind of being made up. So who knows? But second of all, like I don't want to speak for Tolkien because he's obviously long passed away, but I'm pretty sure that like he wouldn't be upset by this, especially like if he was still alive with like modern sensibilities, even if he never wrote a black. This shouldn't be an issue. Actually, I'm not going to argue about this anymore. Let's move on. I just want to say it shouldn't be an issue. It just blows my mind that it was.
And anyone is upset about it, good, because that's what we
Good.
like.
Yeah, be upset. Don't watch it. I don't fuck. Or
No, it's not for
maybe
you. How about that? It's not for you.
Yeah, go watch the original Lord of the Rings. Like, I think there's actually. Anyways. Don't watch that either. Just get out of the whole franchise. Don't watch media.
We gatekeeping. And we're keeping this person of color, elvish person. We need.
It's funny because it's like, but a friend of mine's been rereading Lord of the Rings, and he's been giving me like all the updates. This is before the trailer came out, by the way, but he's giving me all the updates about things he's forgotten in the series, and it's just been crazy. I've been really nostalgic for Lord of the Rings in general, but even though I love,
let's move on to another commercial.
yeah, actually, we'll leave it there because I was about to go into a whole thing about how I have mixed feelings about the Peter Jackson trilogy, but let's move on from there. Anyways, other commercials. Did you see the one? Did you see all the fucking NFT and like crypto shit?
No, I
did.
didn't.
Yeah, I watched
There
the
was
whole
so
game.
much of it.
The one that was
There's
basically just the
so much
screensaver with
of
the
it.
QR code.
Yeah, excuse me. Yes, and mind you, it's like I don't even know where to begin with. I want to do a whole NFT episode one day because there's actually a lot of stuff we could tie it in even to our own things. Too bad Nyaros didn't show up today because specifically, I don't know what the fuck I just said earlier, but specifically there's a lot of sites stealing things these days, and It's wild because even when like NFTs were first like coming out, well, not first coming out, they've been around for a while, but like when they first became popular, still more accurately, I was
Yeah.
curious. I was looking into like how to mint my own my own NFTs. Like for, I'm not even gonna lie, I was like, oh, maybe I'll mint some A to J ones and
No,
we'll sell those.
Manuel.
I'm glad I didn't.
You do that, and I'm leaving.
I'm glad I didn't. But that was because it only costs. I mean, you can probably do it yourself. I don't understand how to do that. It only costs so much to like have someone put it on the blockchain for you, and there you go.
Yeah.
But when I was looking into the process, it's so easy, and I'm like, what's to stop me from just like uploading whatever I want?
Nothing,
And apparently
Manuel.
nothing. Yeah, apparently nothing.
I had a friend whose art was apparently uploaded without their permission, and it was selling for much. That art had not sold for like $200, but now it was going for thousands just because someone had put it into an NFT.
It's wild. And like apparently it's somewhat like, because it's an unregulated market, it's really hard to like prosecute someone for these kind of things. And even if like you have some judge who's willing to take the case, like, yeah, that's theft, it's hard to prove who did it. Because for example, we use my really brief case about like if I uploaded someone's random art up there, who's at fault? Me for like hiring this person, or the person who actually put it up there? Or the block, like, and apparently you can't get things off the blockchain like pretty much at all, which is the whole point. uh so even if it's like you're found like, yeah, you owe this, you just give them the money and you move on with your life because it's there, it's sold now.
So yeah,
It's
NFTs
wild. The whole
suck. The commercials weren't that good for them, but still trying to sell the general public on it.
Yeah, and then like it's funny because like there was a Meta commercial, like Facebook,
Yes.
the Metaverse or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that the Metaverse was supposed to be a real thing. I thought Mark Zuckerberg was just talking bullshit during that like hour-long promo trailer thing they did ages ago. But apparently, they have that game, the fucking VR chat knockoff.
Horizon
Yeah.
Labs or something like that.
Yeah, and like I didn't realize that. I'm like, are you serious? That's the Metaverse? That's the Metaverse that like I'm pretty sure they're spending billions and billions and billions and billions on, and that they're changing the whole name over. But what's even more wild about how stupid that looks is the first time I ever saw it was in the commercial that was on the Super Bowl thing last night. I mean, 2 nights ago. Was that in the middle of it, they mentioned that they have NFTs. I didn't know. I didn't know that the Metaverse apparently has NFTs too.
Pretty much
So this is
everyone
like-
has NFT nowadays.
Yeah.
This is our
Genshin
future.
has it.
Everything is NFTs, and it blows my mind. And like apparently this happened a while ago. This isn't a new clip, but that clip of like Paris Hilton on like fucking Jimmy Fallon has been going like, has doing the rounds a lot, where she's all like, oh yeah, like, and it sounds so fake, like they scripted this dialogue, and you come to find out that Paris Hilton's one of the investors in Bored Ape Yacht Club or whatever. And it's all like, are you fucking serious? This is illegal. But you know what? It's not, because it's not regulated. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, maybe generational wealth in some cases is a very bad idea.
It's just wild that none of this is illegal because there's no rules for it. There's literally no rules for like what this is.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh
crazy.
man, crypto is wild. And there's this really good video which came out like a few months ago. I'll have a link to it. I can't remember who the fuck did it. It went. I never heard of this YouTuber, but it was like everyone's feed. Now it has like 10 million views. Where I think it's called like, let's talk about NFTs, like a 2-hour video. I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, it was very long, but I watched most of it. But the part that I found most interesting, beyond the NFT part, was the part where we was talking about Bitcoin. And I didn't realize that Dogecoin isn't a real cryptocurrency.
It's not.
It's because everyone stretch. I'm not gonna lie, I can't listen to stretch anymore. Oh, my back cracked. Anyways, Dogecoin, they've always said it's a parity coin, and I didn't know what that meant. And what that means is, by the way, is that every other crypto out there has like a set finite amount that can be mined. Because I don't understand the process, but basically TLDR, there's a set finite amount that can be mined. There's only going to be X amount of Bitcoin forever, which is why it has, technically value. But Dogecoin isn't like that. You could just keep mining it infinitely, which is why its price is worthless. The stock price is worthless.
Mm-hmm.
So when Elon Musk said all of his bullshit and then bought a bunch, then sold it, then pretty much talked shit about it, then like drove the price down, like that's a crime.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's not go accusing anyone of committing crimes on this podcast just so we don't get sued.
I know Elon Musk is gonna sue my ass. Like I'm pretty sure.
No, we're just
those,
saying it sounds illegal.
Yeah.
From
Okay, I feel
It is
that's
your
a crime.
opinion.
Yes, as I say, like it is my opinion that is a crime. There is no definitive statements being spoken here. Elon Musk, do not sue me. I'm pretty sure you like eat meals that are worth more than my entire net worth. So yeah, please don't sue me.
I mean, he's not gonna be here that long. He's trying to go live on the moon like every rich person right now.
Mars
Oh.
specifically. But yeah.
It's wild. That fucker's crazy. We could I actually want to do a whole episode on him one day because there's so much I want to talk about. Anyways, I won't go too far into that. But just crazy. The meta thing's wild. The fucking NFT things are wild. There's so much of it. The I know the game didn't happen there and it's not related to the whole thing. But one of the other big stadiums in LA is the former Staples Center. Which is now called the crypto.com. Wait, actually it was the Microsoft Center that got renamed. Doesn't matter. It's not one of those areas got renamed the crypto.com arena or some shit like that. I think it was Staples Center.
Staples
Yeah,
Center.
Staples.
It's called crypto.com Center now.
Which honestly is more annoying that like it's a website. It's like, you know. But yeah, the crypto center. I'm like, oh my god. I'm not gonna lie. Every so often, I'll hear so many names like that, and I'll forget that Staples was also a corporate sponsor.
Yep.
That at least
Who
sounds
the
like it
fuck-
could also be someone's last name.
Yeah, who the fuck goes to Staples these days? But yeah, it blows my mind.
I do. What are you talking about?
It's funny because the Microsoft Theater, that's also in the same complex.
Yeah.
It's now called it's called the Microsoft Theater now, but it used to be called the Nokia Theater.
Yeah.
And then there's a little club that's I don't know what the fuck that's called now. That used to be called Club Nokia because both of them were like Nokia branded. But I had forgotten that Nokia is a brand, and I just thought that was really cute that they both were like presumably owned by the same Mr. Nokia. And I'm pretty sure there actually is a Nokia person in this one case. But I thought it was owned by Mr. Nokia or Mrs. Nokia, it doesn't matter. And like and then when they changed the name to the Microsoft Center, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a branding. Anyways. Everyone has too much money. Give me some of your money. I have a price.
Oh, Manuel.
And it's not that high. Yes.
It's called the Novo now.
Oh, it's called the Novo.
Club
I wonder
Nokia.
what.
Yeah.
I bet you that's not even branded anymore. Which is, I don't think Novo is a brand. That's probably just like now the club owners don't have branding anymore, so they're just independent.
Hmm.
Anime Expo used to use both of those. I mean, they probably still do, but they used to use both of those venues for like their concerts and shit. Actually, I don't think they do anymore.
But
they used to.
Did at least as of 2018, because that's where I saw Aqua perform at Anime Expo.
You're right. Were they at the Novo or were they at the Microsoft?
The Microsoft Theater.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, they used to use the Novo a lot. There was one year where they used the Novo exclusively. Well, it was Club Nokia back then. And I remember like that venue. Now they have lockers outside of it, but that venue didn't allow cameras. And I literally cut a hole into my bag. Basically, I created a hidden pocket in my bag so I could hide a camera in there. And like I used to use that to, and mind you, it wasn't to sneak pictures. Just like I don't have to fucking back check my thing back at the con. I hated that. I still hate that when conventions use outside venues for part of their convention thingy. Anyways, Anime Expo hotel info's up. Everyone go book your hotel soon. Before
I'm good. I'm like
gone.
15 minutes away from the Staples Center. I mean, the crypto.com.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie.
other commercials.
Oh, crypto.
Yeah. Okay, how about that Multiverse of Madness trailer for the new Doctor Strange?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm so over the MCU these days. But then
I'm
again,
actually curious on it because it Sam Raimi directed, so I'm like, okay, I want to see what's this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was in the movie. It was in the trailer, directed by Sam Raimi.
I don't think
I was like,
I saw the trailer, but I don't think I saw that. I don't think I read that text. I definitely would
Oh,
have
sorry, I
noticed
forgot
that.
you can't read
you
manual.
didn't put your boomer glasses on to read it,
I
obviously.
know, I was saying, I'm like, what's that say? Just squinting at the screen.
Like that old lady with the computer. Huh?
Except he's older.
That's fun. I didn't realize that. Now I want to see it.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, like, I will eventually watch every new MCU. Honestly, now that I kind of mildly caught up with up to Avengers and even WandaVision, they just pump out so much
Mhm.
that I'm just like, oh my god! Like, even before WandaVision, there was the fucking Captain America and the Falcon, which I still have not finished.
That was after WandaVision.
Oh, it was after. Oops. By the way, it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I said that. Like, Captain America's not
Technically,
in
after
the
the
whole
last
point.
episode, it's Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But yes,
I mean, you're right.
Yeah. But anyways, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch like I watched Shang-Chi because of course like everyone told me to because it's you know.
I liked it
But
up until
Chinese.
to the ending.
I did like that one. But mind you, like even a bad MCU movie to me is still enjoyable for its like in its entertainment way.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean to say? So
Yeah.
it's like, but I did like that one in general. But even if it was bad, it was still like I wouldn't have regretted watching it. But like besides that, I haven't watched Black Widow. I haven't fucking watched fucking what's the other one? Eternals and like.
But
And
you saw
whatever
Spider-Man No
TV
Way Home.
shows.
We've already talked about
I
that.
did see No Way Home, and I spoiled that one for. I think I spoiled it for Warren because he hadn't seen it yet, and I was like,
I'm
yeah,
surprised Warren hasn't stabbed you for that. You keep spoiling him every time on stuff.
Oh, real fast. A friend of mine reminded me of this. I'll never remember this any other time. And it has to do with Lord of the Rings. So I'll tie it in real fast, real fast. I was in high school when the original Lord of the Rings movies came out. And back, nobody probably remembers a time before the movies, but there was a time when nobody really knew Lord of the Rings unless you were a nerd.
Mhm.
And so I had friends, actually most of the people I knew who were my age didn't know it was a book, didn't know it was based on anything. And specifically, there was this one kid who was so excited to see the second movie because they released them every year. And it was somewhere between that year, between Fellowship and Two Towers. He's like, I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. And we were talking about it in school. I'm like, oh, it's based on a book, and even though it's like they're changing things, it follows most of the same beat. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, oh yeah, I don't remember what brought this up. I was just being an asshole. I'm sure I was being an asshole. I'm like, Gandalf's not dead, and he comes back to the second movie.
Wait. Isn't
Spoiler.
he technically dead and then brought back to life?
Well, anyways, yeah, he technically is reborn as Saruman the
Yeah.
White. But anyways, I was like, Gandalf's not dead. He comes back. I'll never forget the look. I to this day, I still visually remember the look he gave me. He was so mad. He was so mad at me. He was just like, why'd you tell me that? Now I don't want to see the movie anymore. And he never talked to me again.
I
I'm
wouldn't
not
talk to you
talking
either
about
if you
manual.
spoiled
He
it.
Directions to
never
people.
talked to me. We weren't
Okay.
we weren't exactly the best
No,
of friends, but he
Manuel, come
never
on.
spoke to me again. I gotta go
Okay,
eat later. Peace out.
Let's finish
Bye.
up talking about the trailer because that was just awesome. With I like the effects in it. Like if you see the full version, it's really cool. You
Ooh,
see
my
3 Doctor Stranges, all played by Benedict Cumberbatch. So I
Yeah.
really want to see him how he does differentiate each one of them.
He was Smog,
Yes,
wasn't he?
yes, he was Smaug.
That's what I just wanted to tie it back in.
And I believe he was
Oh,
also the
Smaug,
necromancer.
same thing. Oh, he was. I didn't know that. Anyways,
Yeah. So
um,
there's that, and there's Sir Patrick Stewart in the trailer, and it's like
Spoiler.
he's in the trailer.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
like
yeah.
a big old thing everyone mentioned. I was like, yeah,
aren't
it's
they gonna
him.
tie in? Aren't they gonna tie in the mutants now that they did Eternals and whatever?
Yeah.
Probably.
Isn't that the whole shtick? They're gonna have mutants now, even though it blows my mind because I've never seen Age of Ultron. Actually, I have seen it, but I saw that when it was new, like literally like 10 years ago, independent of all the other movies.
Mhm.
So I don't really remember what the reasoning was. I guess
Oh,
maybe experiments, but
yeah,
I don't know
I
how the
can't-
fuck they had Quicksilver.
They were Hydra experiments with the Mind Stone.
Oh, okay.
Technically, as shown in WandaVision, Scarlet Witch already had her power. It was just fully unlocked by the Mind Stone.
See, that's what I was saying, because WandaVision kind of explained Wanda, but I didn't understand the Quicksilver thing. I'm like, he's a mutant. Well, they're both mutants, but Quicksilver's a mutant. It's like, how the fuck is he around?
They
So, yeah.
vaguely mention it, but then it got sidetracked to mostly on Wanda.
Yeah.
Oh, because
Uh,
Quicksilver dies in that movie. Spoilers. It's been 10 years.
Spoilers.
God damn
Spoilers
it!
for an old. Well, he dies
No
in the
more
show too. Because
spoilers.
if you remember, that was a wild show. Speaking of the multiverse, because they brought over the Quicksilver from the other series,
Yes, as
the
in a
X.
matter of
The
joke
Fox
casting, Manuel,
Quicksilver.
that a
Yeah.
lot of people took way too seriously.
Yeah, they
I'm
kind
not.
of did.
I mean, it's funny because you want to say that they took it too seriously, but every other Marvel series since has basically done that. Like, look at the fucking No Way Home, which technically isn't even fucking Marvel. It's not Disney. It's Sony. But they brought like all the other outside MCU, not even MCU Spider-Mans in there.
Hmm.
And my favorite meme, and I know I've seen it way too much and it's way overdone, is like it's like, oh, Willem Dafoe wasn't even cast as Green Goblin. He just showed up and started beating up Tom Holland. I don't know why. That just makes me laugh every time I see it. That's valid. Don't we all want to beat up Tom Holland sometimes?
No.
Um, Uncharted's coming out, and
No,
apparently
isn't
everyone
it
hates.
already out?
Was it already out?
I think it.
Yeah, it's already out.
Everyone hates it. I saw all the bad reviews for it,
It's
and
not
I'm
like
like,
the game. It's different.
I thought it was more middling, but yeah. Doesn't seem to be like setting the critics' pants on fire. I don't know where this comparison is going. Thanks, Manuel.
Pat's on fire. It's funny because when I first heard of that movie, I could have sworn The Rock was attached, and it looks like something The Rock would be in. Not has anything to do with the fucking plot, but just like when you look at the outfits, Tom Holland and whoever the fuck the other guy is, I'm
Mark
sure it's someone
Wahlberg?
famous.
Mark.
Oh, it's Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. Um, it, whenever I see them, like, you know damn well, like, The Rock could play one of those. I mean, maybe not Tom Holland because he's too young, too old for that. But
How in the world do you not recognize Marky Mark? He's the only guy who talks like he does in Hollywood.
Yeah, he does.
That he's got that
Because he's from
Saudi
yeah.
accent.
Boston.
Yeah,
Oh,
honestly,
man,
I'm kind of
that's
surprised because if you asked me, like when this first came out, or the idea first came up, if they were making a movie, I would have put Mark Wahlberg as Nathan Drake, like the 30x-year-old Nathan Drake, and then made Bruce Campbell or someone like that Sully, because he's supposed to have
Bruce
like
Campbell's.
That's not a bad good combo right
Yeah.
there. Now you think
This
about
is
it.
this is the first Uncharted movie, right? There's more
Yes.
before this, right? Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure before I said anything stupid. So yeah, I could have sworn The Rock was attached to this at some point. I'm gonna Google that later on.
I mean,
Honestly,
it
it's
doesn't
probably
sound wrong.
easier to find movies he's probably not been attached to at some point
I
that are
know.
expected to be big movies.
And it's funny because if you look at his outfit that he wore, like in Jumanji, and like there's memes about this where he plays like it's like four different movies. Like these are all from different movies, and it's all like The Rock, but he's all wearing like the same outfit,
Mhm.
and like it looks the same. But yeah, Nathan Drake could have been one. He could have been Nathan Drake, and I actually mean that with no ill will towards The Rock. It's just funny that he's in everything. And he's like the really go-to especially for video game adaptations. He's been in Doom. He's been in Rampage.
And he's got
He
another
was
one
a
coming
tooth
up.
fairy.
Was he in Spy Hunter? Am I making that up? But yes. But
I vaguely remember that. But
yeah, there's
yeah.
a Spy Hunter movie, believe it or not. Like that sounds wild as fuck. But there's a Spy Hunter movie. I'm gonna Google that real fast and make sure.
Okay, but let's move on. Or any other commercials we want to talk about before we move on to direct news?
Ooh. I think that's like the biggest one
Isn't
to
that,
mention.
I think this is the biggest ones. I mainly wanted to mention Meta, the NFTs, and the fucking Rings of Power, and
The only
I'm
one
not-
I want to mention is the stupid Joe Rogan, not Joe Rogan, Seth Rogen, and what's his name? The
Oh,
stupid
Paul
potato
Rudd,
chip.
the
Yeah,
Lay's
Paul Rudd
commercial.
with the potato chips. That was stupid.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I can't stand most like Super Bowl commercials in general. It's kind of like it feels like the kind of thing when like boomers, or not even boomers, when corporations take control of things that were kind of going like viral on their own. It's like they're trying to make viral marketing, and it works sometimes and it doesn't other times. It just feels weird. Um,
I kind of like
but
the
yeah,
commercial, but yeah, I can definitely see why people wouldn't like it.
Yeah, it was just
I
dumb.
I also saw all the memes about like because I think isn't whoever fuck is making Doritos like in some sort of like labor strike? And there was the memes
Probably.
about like everyone's in a labor strike right now because everyone doesn't want to pay anyone shit, but they keep raising their prices. And there was this whole thing about there was a meme where it's like if you could afford like $1 million ad slot for one commercial, you could afford to like
No,
raise your wages.
Yeah, for a 30-second commercial, $65 million.
Yeah. There you go.
Fuck.
It's like you could afford to like raise some wages. It's like come the
And
fuck on.
I don't know if it was on the national broadcast or maybe just the local one, but there was like a 30-second Pachanga commercial. It's like, wow, they've really grown.
The
They
casino.
always show Pachanga and the other one.
It's wild because that casino, that's one of the native casinos, right? The native.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I haven't done it like since ages, but there used to be this bus that used to. This only makes sense to you if you live where I live. That goes. It's like this random parking lot in Carson, the city of Carson, which is like in the South Bay, and it's a free bus, and I would go there to go to this casino. That like that I would go to, just me and my friends, just to go like look at a casino, go eat at the buffet, then drink at the bar, and then come back. It was
Not a
just a
bad
fun
time.
day trip for us. Yeah, and it was funny because the bus would be nothing full of like old people who were just going there to gamble.
Okay,
And I'm like,
we don't have
it's
that long,
funny.
so let's move on to direct news.
And also, I'm not one of the old people going there to gamble. Anyways,
Yeah.
Nintendo's closing down their eShop for DS and Wii U.
Next year.
Download your next year in March. Yeah, or actually a little over a year, so you have time. But it is worrisome. We talked about this before it went live, but yeah, it's worrisome. I'm just upset because like clearly Nintendo is not gonna keep around its eShops for. Well, no one will, but like they're always the first, and this doesn't bode well for the Switch. Because everyone's like, oh, they're not going to do this for the 3DS. Like everyone understands the Wii U, but they're not going to do this for the 3DS. But here they are.
Yeah, I think it's
And
just
surely it can't cost that much to like leave a few more servers up for
probably, but I think they recently switched like server backends or something, and there's lots of things that yes they don't want it to happen, but it'll eventually have to happen, kind of thing. Like, and Switch is still
It still
going,
feels
so
too soon.
it'd be at least like 5 years after like they basically stopped working on it. So you've got at least 5-6 years to go. So
To put in comparison, the 3DS has only came out in like 2010, 2011. I forget what the year is.
Yeah.
So it's a little over 10 years. But I mean, mind you, they did threaten to close it down, but the PS3 online shop is still up. And and they've been talking about maybe getting rid of that in 2023, which will be around the same time. But that launched in 2006.
Yeah.
So it's
like similar to the PS4 and 5, so it doesn't have to like use its own separate stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I think part of the thing is that it's like you said, it's a very similar. It's like the same ecosystem and the same like. I think there's even some games you could bring forward. I don't think you do that with the 3 that much, but like the 4 and 5 were meant to be like interchangeable, not interchangeable, but like brought forward. But Nintendo's never gonna do that. And I don't know. It just pisses me off. I'm upset now. Now I feel like every game I bought recently is gonna just disappear soon.
Always buy physical.
Yep.
Yeah.
Physical is the way to be.
And now
or hack your system and just download them.
Well, it's funny because, like, very famously, the Nintendo Vita. I mean, the Nintendo Vita. Oh, someone's gonna love that. the PlayStation Vita.
Yeah,
but the PlayStation Vita had they pretty much stopped doing that like in 2015ish. Fun fact: when we were going to A to G was going to the NIS America, Nippon Ichi Software America press events up until like 2017, 2018. They were still releasing video games, and they would still have Vitas there for us to play, like the new games that were coming out. It just blew my mind. I'm like, who the fuck is buying these things still? Like the Switch was already long out, but anyways, but when the Vita pretty much just stopped really being a real threat, like in 2015, 2016, and they put a patch out. It was during the pandemic, so like 2020. They patched the firmware to block out the then recentish ways to hack your console, which still blows my mind. That like Sony was still so worried about piracy in 2020 for the Vita that they try to block it.
I mean, why?
Probably also appeasing people who work with them on it. Just because
is the Vita store still open?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Okay,
I think maybe
direct
the
news,
main
Manuel. What are we
side.
talking about? Fire Emblem Warriors 2, Three Hopes.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. That's one of my favorite series. Well, both of them. Fire Emblem and the Warrior series, the Muso series. I can't wait. It comes out soon actually too. It's coming out like in
June.
April. Oh, close enough. 2 more months after that. But it's coming out soon. I love the way Nintendo does this sometimes. Sometimes it annoys the fuck out of me. But now I'm happy that, because like, if it was other companies, they would announce the game like when it's being like first gets greenlit, and you'll spend 3 years getting little updates on it. But they announced it for the first time like last week, and it's already going to come out like within 4 months or 5 months, as it were. So yeah, wild. Any new games from that Nintendo Direct you're excited about, Weston?
Oh yes, 2 of them. The Klonoa collection, which I highly recommend everyone to buy it because that's a game that people need to buy in order for the company to be like, oh, this one did well. Let's release another obscure game from our IP library. And this, I don't know, this is debate. Live Alive, Alive, whatever you want to
It's
call it.
funny. It's live alive,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and
Thank
it's
you.
funny. It's funny you said it. You had a little confusion about that. I was so happy when the Nintendo Direct happened because for the first time did someone officially out loud say it, quote unquote, in English. Because like
Yeah.
prior to this, like, oh, that's just the Japanese pronunciation. It's actually Live Alive. There's all sorts of online discussion about what the title actually is for years.
For years, yeah. But I'm excited that Live Alive is coming out, and with the physical too, because I already seen the
Oh, I
Euro.
didn't know that.
I seen the PAL version, and I seen the Asia version from what's that one website,
Yeah,
Plasia.com.
Play
Play
Asia,
Asia.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
there's already doing pre-orders for that. So I'm like, ooh, I
Yeah,
might get a
hoping it gets a
copy for
physical
that.
release in the U.S. Even if it has to come through limited run.
Well, we can if Play Asia has the version, you can get the Asian ones because usually the Asian ones, actually not usually, always the Asian ones have English because
Oh yeah,
very sim.
there's always an English and multi-language in it as
And
well.
I don't mean the Japanese version. That'll only be Japanese. But if there's an Asia release, it'll always have English because very similar to the way they do North American releases that are like French, English, and Spanish.
Yes.
Um, they'll do like Chinese, like Mandarin, Canto, and English.
Hmm.
At least usually for
Cantonese?
those regions. Yeah.
You said Kanto.
Oh, did I say Canto?
Yes.
Did I
Yeah,
say
you did.
Mandarin? Did
Yes,
I
you
say
said
Yes,
Mandarin.
Mandarin
you did.
correctly? And I said I said Mandarin correctly, but just said Canto.
I was
Yes.
like,
Usually I
Kanto
say
would be the
Mando and
Pokemon.
Canto. Well, Canto is just the shorthand for the language. It's funny
No,
because
no, that's a
somebody.
Pokemon area.
I mean, it is that too, but it's funny because like every so often, like someone will get on my case, like and I'm like, it's not a slur. I'm talking about the language, but they're like, you can't say that. Shit. Here I am laughing on this about this live, and it turns out it is a slur. I'm gonna Google that later.
Yeah.
Delete that.
Once again, Manuel.
I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. Somebody would have told me that for real because the way I've been throwing that around to actual like Cantonese people. Um,
Also, new
I
Mario
almost said,
Strikers.
oh
That's gonna
that's
be a new
random.
costume for me. I'm literally gonna dress as a soccer player.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's soccer player Mario. It's funny because the last time I played, was there a Strikers for the Wii? I don't remember. But there's definitely one
Yes.
for the GameCube.
Yes.
But I have to say the last time I played either Klonoa or Strikers was on the Wii. I think it's the last Klonoa game was the Klonoa, whatever the fuck it's called on the Wii.
Door to Phantomville, Return to Phantomville, or something.
Fun fact, I was organizing my Wii collection recently because I got there was a bunch of DVDs on the same shelf and I wanted to get rid of them, so now it's just Wii stuff there. And I found my Nights into Dreams, and I don't think I ever showed it off but Molly has shown off hers, but mine's still sealed. Not only is it still, first of
Which
all, I don't know
system?
how it, I don't know, or the Wii, not the Sega Saturn, but
Dang, the Sega Saturn is worth more.
but it's hilarious because not only is it still sealed, but I know I've played that game. I've played it many times. I'm like, how the fuck did I play it? I must like have a loose disc of someone else's version if I borrowed and never returned or
You
something.
just reroute
What
it
you
one
were
night in your
empty,
sleep.
probably?
what's even wilder about the fucking Nights into Dreams, fucking whatever the fuck it's called for the Wii. It has a Kmart price sticker on it, so it's like a triple relic, just like all of everything about it.
Damn, it has
Okay.
Kmart in it. See,
Yeah.
that's a trip.
Oh man, I'm looking at the Kmart price sticker and it's still sealed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, oh shit, send it to Wada.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Mario Kart 8's getting another
Oh.
48 tracks over the next like 2 years.
it's funny because that sounds like a joke number, but that's really what's happening.
Yeah.
Wait, it's called Knights of the Journey of Dreams.
Yeah, Knight's Journey into Dreams.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
only
go.
worth like $20.
Sealed?
Yeah, like I
Sorry,
said, if it was a Sega Saturn, it'd be a lot more.
I do have the Sega Saturn. Oh, you know what I do have that is rare? I have the Christmas version. It's not sealed, but I have the Christmas version in good. I have both Nights and Nights Christmas. What the fuck it's called? But
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah,
Anyways, but the Mario Kart tracks come out for the first. I actually found this out today. I'm sure the direct told us, but I wasn't paying attention. The first of the tracks comes out in March 15th, something like that. They
Something
come
like
out
that.
soon. Look in a month. So in a month.
Yeah.
My favorite track of all time. I forgot the name of it already. It's funny because Angie tweeted about it, and I guess it's hers too. Is Angie, for those who don't know, is an AJ member, has been on a bunch of our panels and has been on a few shows back in the
Yeah,
past.
just keep going, man.
But is the mall? I forgot
Coconut
what the fuck
Mall.
the mall's called. Coconut Mall? Yeah. And
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
what's funny? Because like in that one, there's me's driving cars that like are in the parking lot that just like every so often fuck you up. Like not fuck you up, but they like
Yeah.
they back up. And I don't recall, like you might have to Google this. I think this is the case. I'm pretty sure it is. I think the game draws your me library into populate those cars.
Yeah.
I know it. So every so often, I'll be fucking driving, and like I remember back. This is like 10+ years ago. I'd be doing my fucking kart race, and the car backs into me and blocks my way, fucks me up. And I look, and the fucking me is like my best friend or my then girlfriend or me.
yourself.
Yes, or me.
You are your own worst enemy. Lit was right.
Yes. So like I love that. I hope they integrate that against. The Switch does have. I mean, you can't make more than one, but the Switch does have Mii's. So
Yeah. And
I don't know.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3, baby.
Dude, you know what pisses me off about that game?
What?
I love the series. I'm not going to say that the series sucks. I love the series.
What
But
series?
it's a Xenoblade.
Oh, Xenoblade.
There's a meme about you can always tell when it's Xenoblade game because everyone's British. That was a bad British.
British.
I know I said it like that,
Tuesday,
but yeah. You want to know why that is? Do you know why that is, JD?
Yeah, because the first one wasn't going to be released in America, so they dubbed it in Europe, and every
Thank you.
English version there has a British accent.
Thank you. So nobody remembers that because unless you were like a fucking Wii diehard who remembers Project Rainfall. I had to remember what it
Operation
was
Rainfall,
called.
I believe.
There you go. There you go. If you remember Operation Rainfall, you don't know that that's why the last story only has another UK dub as well. And I think Pandora. I've never actually played. I haven't. I never played Pandora's Tower. That one might also have a UK dub. But Last Story, which only has one game, so there you go. But Xenoblade, the first one, had the dub. And I always thought like, oh, the next one they're gonna have like a quote unquote traditional voice cast.
American.
But they've never done that. Every fucking game since, thanks to that first game, has the fucking UK dub, and it I'm not gonna lie, it upsets me. Somebody's gonna say that's
Manuel
racist is the wrong word.
Forgiven the British for all those taxes from 1770.
Yeah. It's like never mind. I can't even do a British accent, but if I try, it'll probably come off as sounding mildly racist. I'm not gonna do it. But anyways, I'm not a huge fan of. Honestly, I don't mind British accents. It's kind of weird hearing a whole. It's like watching a Harry Potter movie. That probably sounds racist to say that, but like I just feel like why is everyone British? And then I can't stand some of the are they Cockney accents or like whatever? Like some of those accents just like really grate on me. It's like, oh my god. And there's always gonna be like a fucking shopkeeper or some side character from fucking Xenoblade gonna have one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Right,
I mean,
British
it's a
gang with
very
a
common
Cockney
thing.
accent. I know that's not
Yeah,
Cockney accent. Don't get at me in the comments. Not that anyone actually watches this.
well, somebody will watch. Somebody will watch this, and if you're British and you unsub, go
We
ahead and leave a
understand.
"fuck you" Manuel in the comments. don't please don't unsub.
All right, Manuel. Well, looks like we should be wrapping up about now.
Oh, anything else you want? What other games did you want to mention, Weston? I think you said them all, didn't you? Live Alive, Klonoa. Oh, Chrono Cross is getting a re-release. Along with
That's-
Radical Dreamers.
Yeah.
What I did find interesting about the whole Nintendo Direct is that there was no mention at all of Metroid Prime 4
Not yet.
or Breath of the Wild 2. And it's funny because like I started this thing by saying, "Oh, I love the way that they don't announce games too early." Those two games have been in production, especially Prime 4, for like 5 years now.
Yeah, I mean, it had to completely like restart production at least once. So
Breath of the Wild 2, there's no excuse because they
Yeah.
actually said that was supposed to be a quick turnaround game because it was using the same assets. And then I don't know what they did that they decided to like apparently make a new game.
yeah, Manuel, as a professional game developer, I can say that now I got my first paycheck yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just end up adding way or extending your scope way too much because no one will tell you not to, and someone
There's
needs
a
to
word
tell
for
you
that.
scope creep.
Well, feature creep, I was gonna say, but yeah, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I guess scope creep is more like when you keep a it's
Yeah.
a similar difference. But anyway,
And that's why you have like producers and stuff who are keep telling you to cut stuff because hey, this has got to get out the door and everyone's got to make money off this. And I'm assuming they'll have that ready for November, so they'll probably be their main focus of E3 or
as
what.
soon as I get off here, I'm gonna go call AG Aonuma and be like, "Hey, bro, you need to get them back to work." Yes, because I can call him and talk to him like that.
Because A, you have his private number.
Japanese numbers are funny too because they like start with 0. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Because that's the region code. Anyways, the area code start with 0. The fuck was I saying? Let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
it's a fun episode, even though like we actually were consistent and we didn't. Even my deviations were mostly on point.
Yeah, it's because I was much more active in keeping on topic.
Yeah, we have 2 more episodes in February. I don't know which one's going to be which. Let me look this up.
We technically only have
one more.
Yeah, because
okay, next
this
one's
is
going to be
only
fantasy
28 day February.
Well, we're going to do a fantasy one next Tuesday, most likely. Oh shit! Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, never mind. Oh shit! I need. Oops. Sorry, something personal. I realized I had to hurry up on because we only had 28 days. Anyways, I thought I had till 31st. I never look at a calendar.
Manual. 28 days in February. It only changes once every 4 years.
I know, and it's funny because
if it's not 100, that's not divisible by 400.
Anyways, March 1st. Well, next few episodes, I don't know what'll be what. We want to talk about fantasy, and then I want to do one. It's not a tier list, but it's almost a tier list where I want to make our own little when we were young thing. Maybe we'll do it next month. I think the concert's actually next month. We do like a weeb version. And
we're not going to rank the bands there because that's good because I only know like 3 of them.
Yeah, I actually know just about all of them, even the new ones that are on the lineup. Like Palais Royale is not like when we were young; they're like recent. But anyways, but I want to do one of those, but like a weeb version. I don't know if we'll do it live. I mean, like we'll do the show live, but I don't know if we'll do this live. I might add this for YouTube where we like have it in the middle, then we put the band onto the poster. We'll probably do that. I'll probably do that in post. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, that's it. Tomorrow we're playing Oregon Trail 2. Actually, we're playing Oregon Trail something. It depends on which version, because I let Snacks choose. Snacks is playing. We're changing it up a little. In honor of President's Day, which is next Monday, I believe. Oh, I'm going to look that up before I say it. Yeah, let me look that up before I... Yeah, it is. It's next Monday. Next Monday is President's Day, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the combination of George Washington and Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Isn't that the original intent for that holiday?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Celebrate all
that's
the
the whole point.
presidents. But yeah, anyway, so we're doing that. Any patriotic holiday during the year, we're gonna try to run through all the Oregon Trail games. It just seems like a wild reason to do it throughout the year. So it'll be like this July 4th, Memorial Day.
Oh, not you won't
Veterans
be doing
Day
it for July 4th, I assume. Because that's
we
Anime
won't because
Expo.
the fucking. Well, we'll do it near there. Because there's 5 games and we want to play throughout them. We want to play the whole series through the year.
Yeah, okay.
We already
Keep
done
going.
part 1.
What else
Anyways.
is this week?
Oh, Saturday's DTL. We probably still won't have Molly. She hasn't given us word, but I doubt we'll have Molly. But we probably will have another guest on instead.
Thoughts and prayers for you and Molly's mom.
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone give Molly some shout out to Molly, like thoughts and prayers, send it her way. And she's going through some shit. We'll leave it at that. And yeah. What else is there? That's it.
Shout out to our patrons, Ed and Kenneth.
Oh, yeah. Shout Ed and Kenneth, our patrons. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you all for watching. Thank you for saying fuck you, Manuel, for making fun of British accents. And yeah. I undubbed. I actually hacked my Wii. I had my Wii hacked anyway, but I got an undub patch for the last story because it was bothering me so much.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Peace out. Good night.
Peace.
Give me.
Was that?